Well, as you can see, this time that was the second aircraft we just seen anyway. But obviously, this time isn't. This one here isn't civil aircraft. This time, anyway. This one isn't even civil aircraft. This one here isn't really civil aircraft anyway. But this is basically the military one that. Basically, this is the one that we normally see during work days. This is the Royal Navy Hawker Beechcraft Avenger T1 we just seen. We just seen came over this afternoon anyway. But obviously this one here, we don't normally see this one over the weekend, but it's a bit strange to see the Avenger T1 over the weekend apparently though, which is a bit of annoying. But normally we don't normally see that one over the weekend though normally. But obviously this one here, we don't normally see this one over the weekend. The Royal Navy Avenger T1 from 750 Naval Air Squadron down at RNS Culdrose, which normally we don't see that one over the weekend, which is a bit strange. But however, it is so strange to see the Royal Navy Avenger T1 over the weekend, which is so strange anyway. Especially I remember seeing from last year anyway. Especially I remember seeing the Royal Navy Avenger T1 from last year anyway. When I think last year used to be the Armed Forces Day, where it used to be held in Cornwall last year anyway, and the Avenger T1 took part in that role last week anyway, with the two Navy Merlins apparently, especially with the ones with the crow's nest and ones without the crow's nest. So yeah, the Avenger T1 on the Royal Navy took part in that role last year anyway, which it was at the weekend as well anyway. But you know. So yeah, it's a bit strange to see the Royal Navy Avenger T1 here once again in Cornwall. Especially it's so strange now and then that it's just currently has just come for a flyby apparently though, which normally we don't see that over the weekend though. So yeah, but anyways, as you can see, the registration is ZZ501 and the call sign is NVY 806, that is. As you can see, the call sign is Navy 806, that is. As you can see, just from here, whilst it was dropping down very quickly though, he was literally, to start with, he was around 39,000 feet, and then just from here, he kind of just dropped down to about 3,000 feet, and then from where he was passing over Falmouth, he was dropping down at 2,000 feet, just over near Falmouth Bay, apparently. So he's just currently just dropped down over in Falmouth Bay anyway. So yeah. But anyway, let's have a look where he's been to today, because as you can see this morning he took off. He just took off from his base at RNS Culdrose this morning at probably just before 9 o'clock this morning at 8:58 AM this morning. So obviously this is the bit that I did miss out this morning, but obviously I couldn't be able to film it because it was too cloudy at the time. So yeah, basically it was a bit too cloudy at the time. So anyway, let's have a look where he's been to. So it's literally, he's been all the way up, as you can see, passed over Liverpool, and then passed over Edinburgh, and then over towards Aberdeen, passed over towards Aberdeen in Scotland. Basically, as you can see, this is where he's been to today apparently, through his first visit for the first time, all the way up to Sundberg Airport apparently, which this is where he's been to today apparently, all the way up in Sundberg Airport apparently, just over Sundberg Airport apparently. So yeah, so it's just over towards Sundberg Airport apparently. So this is where he's just been for his visit anyway, as he had to travel all the way up from RNS Culdrose over to Sundberg Airport apparently. So he had to travel all the way up to there anyway, which basically, as you can see, that's up in that's up at a place called Shelton apparently. It's just over in Shindland apparently. So yeah, just over in Sheeland apparently. So yeah, it's just been up a small island today, just the place called Sheeland apparently, which that's quite a long way to go from there anyway. And I think Flyby 24 should have it though. There he is, Flyby 24's got it though. Yeah, Flyby 2 has it. Flyby 24 has got it anyway. It's got, I think Flyby 24's got a better rune than ADXB have anyway. Oh, there we go. Saying the follow flight has landed or is out of college. Yeah, that's probably now landed back at Culdrose anyway. So this is where he's been to today, just over Sunburg Airport today apparently. This is where he's been for his long journey over from Cornwall to Sunburg Airport over in Sheeland apparently. So yeah, as you can see, he's now back at his base at ONS Culdrose now anyway. So basically he's now back at his base at ONS Culdrose now apparently. So yeah, but it is very strange to see the Royal Navy Avenger T1 over the weekend, but which is quite annoying. But normally some Royal Navy aircraft from Culdrose can actually fly sometimes over the weekend, especially like Merlin Mark IIs can from Culdrose, and yeah, and even the Avenger T1s, which obviously the Avenger T1s doesn't fly over the weekend, but I know the Merlin Mark IIs from Culdrose do sometimes, which they tend to fly over the weekend, but obviously like most of the time, no, like over the weekend, they don't obviously fly over the weekend, but they only obviously do it some of the time, but not all the time. But most of the time they stay over Culdrose. Apparently the Avenger T1 and Merlin Mark II, which those two don't tend to fly over the weekend in Cornwall. But it's a bit strange though, because obviously, you know, it's a bit of a strange day today, which we've just seen Delta 5 came over earlier on, and now the Avenger T1 just did as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange time today, because obviously, you know, especially on the weather though, especially some other aircrafts have been to different places, like the Bear 45 has been over to Royal Cornwall Showground in Weybridge, and the Avenger T1 from ONS Culdrose on the Royal Navy has been over to Sunburg Airport for a very long flight visit from Culdrose to Sunburg Airport. So yeah. So he is. There he is. He's just now back at ONS Culdrose now. He's now back. He's now all the way back to ONS Culdrose now. He's now back at ONS Culdrose. I think the journey flight from the Avenger T1, I think that only took possibly just over 2 hours, probably just over 2 hour flight apparently from ONS Culdrose to Sunburg Airport. I think that's just basically just over 2 hour flight apparently from Culdrose to Sunburg Airport. So yeah, I think that took probably just over 2 hours apparently. So yeah, just over 2 hours from there. Probably would say possibly nearly 2.25 hours, I suppose, anyway, I think. So yeah, probably just over 2 hours. So yeah. Okay, so yep. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.